Welcome to H2K Infosys. H2K Infosys is a e-verify business based in Atlanta, Georgia, United States. We provide 100% job-oriented, instructor-led, face-to-face, true live online software training programs. It also includes access to Cloud Test Lab with software tools. We provide live project for you to work on. We also provide assistance with mock interviews, resume preparation and review, and job placement assistance. H2K Infosys is trusted by so many students across the world. H2K Infosys provides world-class services in IT training with real-time project work for corporates and individuals, special IT training for MS students in the United States, software design, development, QA manual and automation, performance testing and maintenance, IT staff augmentation, job placement assistance, and tech support.
What if you get many requests at a time? Yes, you can get many requests at a time, and object will be created for each and every request. There is no harm in that. Even servlet does that. Even web application does that. Okay, it's completely possible that you can get thousands and thousands of requests at the same time. Okay, those many beans will be created. There is no harm in doing that. Okay, and there is a proper object management with using Spring MVC. If you are using Spring MVC with this context and everything, it will be very easy to get these objects properly aligned. There will not be any memory issue as such. Okay, it will handle it very properly. No concern. Of course, it can handle multiple. There is no issue in that. Any Java application can handle it. So when we are talking about WebAware, so always remember, whenever we are talking about WebAware, it's impossible to restrict a web application not having multiple requests at a time. Of course, we created a web application for having multiple requests, isn't it? So if we are allowing multiple requests in WebAware, WebAware means that you are allowing multiple requests anyway. Okay, so definitely it can handle it. There is no issue in that. Okay, absolutely they can do it. Right questions and very good questions. Okay. So now this is a good point to understand auto wiring. So what is wiring and what is auto wiring? So wiring is what? Wiring is something done by an electrician. Okay, not more than that. So remember this, whenever I am declaring this like constructor element type equals to something, value equals to G, constructor element value equals to 5, there is something happening here. Think about this. There is something happening. How does it know that first argument is going to washer's company? And how does it know that the second argument is going to washer's gallons or capacity? So there is something called as auto wiring. So automatically wire the stuff together. And how is that wiring happen? How does that wiring actually take place? So that concept is called as auto wiring, and Spring does auto wiring for you. By default, Spring wiring is by type. Okay, remember that people always confuse. So there are two types of wiring. There are multiple though, but important to understand are only two. There is another called as constructor, but that is again type. So there are two types of wiring. The first wiring type is called as by. So by type means Spring identify the element by type of element, whether it's type of string, whether it's type of another object, whether it's type of configuration. Okay, so Spring identifies that with type. Okay, and another is by name. Means wire the elements by their names. So names means if you name it like config, okay, and that means that this will be wired to this element. Okay, so this is wiring by name. So wiring by name, we always saw that whenever we match it, wiring by name, we do that wiring in Ethernet as well. You remember that we always match whatever we declared in our beam class exactly matching to our not beam class, we call it entity class in Hibernate. I don't get confused in that entity class to our external. So this particular wiring we are very comfortable with. What we are not comfortable with is by type. Okay, so let's understand what is this by type. So see here, and we already saw a small example here with, like whenever I am declaring a constructor type equals to java.Lambda string and value is GE and constructor argument value is 5. Okay, now let's add two constructors again, okay, to make it more confusing for Spring, and let's understand how Spring does wiring for us. Let's another argument constructor which only gets company, and let's have one more constructor which gets capacity in gallons. Okay, so these are two constructors washer had, and now what we can do is we can just remove this guy. Don't even specify type. Okay, don't even specify type, and now try to run this class. What I was accessing is show.get bean and w.get gallons, and I really want this company. Of course, we got company, but we were printing. Let's print both of them, and let's not print anything from laptop, not to get confused. Gallons, and this guy as a block comment. Okay, so where this G, so now Spring is able to identify that this is actually a first argument which is taking a string. Okay, now I want to invoke, this particular function. Yeah, okay, and I will pass 5 here. 5. What will happen? Execute this. It says company is 5, okay, and gallons is 0. Okay, company is 5, but I was not trying to invoke that. I was trying to invoke something else. So what is the way to do that? The simple way to do it is right. The way I was telling you is Spring automatically wires the type. Okay, here it will not automatically wire it. So if we want a name-based thing, okay, by name, so we will do that later. Okay, but first we will try to do this lang integer, and let's try to execute this. Awesome. Unsatisfied dependency expressed with the constructor argument with index 0. Ambiguous constructor argument did not specify correct meaning reference as constructor argument. Okay, so way to answer, the answer of this question is whether integer is wrong here. Okay. So answer of this question is adding an auto wiring or adding a name. So let me add auto wire, not default. I am saying by name. Okay. And now we define name here, and let's name that it is washer class and gallons. Now you get capacity as 5. So Spring does a permutation combination of all the wirings by default. Okay, but you can also restrict or also specify this wiring. So even if you do not specify this wiring details here, it's totally fine. So Spring actually does that all permutation combination of wiring. So by default, Spring does what? Spring first thing Spring checks is first thing Spring executes is my type. Okay, so Spring matches type for, and that we saw already. When we have Spring argument here, it automatically marked it, and second one is taken as an integer type. Okay, that's completely fine. But when we don't have that, when we have two different arguments, then type fails, and this one failed. Okay, and we got exception. So what was the solution? When Spring can do that, Spring can understand by name. So later it will check whether name is exist. Even that is not exist, then it says ambiguous constructor, and I am not able to identify it. So in that scenario, better to use by name. So we just define the name, and you can actually define auto wiring of name. And you really don't want to do that because by default this is the sequence Spring actually checks. So first it checks for type, second it checks for by name, and it will execute this and wire your parameters automatically. Okay, so this feature of Spring is called as auto wiring. It automatically wires your bean to your objects. Okay, confusion here? Anything? Okay. There is a small concept called that being inheritance. That's not really an inheritance on like a class. There is a question coming. Auto wiring is automatic mapping of argument types. Yes, absolutely. Okay, wires the fields in XML to your Java. Okay. So there is a small concept called as inheritance. Okay, being inheritance. And that doesn't mean that you really have to create any inheritance as such. You can, what you can do is, let's say we are using a small, let's say this washer class. So let's take it an example. So what we want is we want a set of washer property defined already. Okay, and we will just make the changes in that washer property, whatever is defined here. Okay, and this washer has, let's say, voltage and frequency. Okay, so these are already defined parameters like 110 volt and 60 hertz. You know that, right? This is US electric. Okay, so this is already defined, so we don't want this to be defined for each and everything. So what you can do is you can actually have bean inheritor, and you can define some washer of defining these two variables. And every time when you create a new washer object, let's say a new washer and the washer from let's say Whirlpool, then Whirlpool washer, and you can just specify that the parent of this particular Whirlpool is this guy. And let me name this as let's say W, just W. So you can just specify a parent of W, which is washer. Okay, and Whirlpool washer will automatically inherit properties from here. Okay, this is very simple, and this is a very reusable, handy concept in Spring to define. You really don't need any class which actually defined as such. You can just create the same class and use the properties in other child classes. So we can make them child classes because we are defining a parent. Doesn't mean that they are really a descendant of these classes or extends that class or something. No, that's not the concept. It's just a bean level inheritance. So let me show you real quick if you don't understand through that example. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this washer object, and it has a constructor argument of gallon 5. So now I want to use that particular bean, and I will make it WP, which is full, and again the class is same. Class is absolutely same. There is no change in that. Okay, and you can have same constructor arguments parameter. And now what I will do is I will add another constructor argument, which is, one is already defined here. Another is what? Another is our company. So that's what we need. Company and value, which are cool. Okay, something like that. I really don't know the spelling of that name. Now here I want to inherit the property of this gallon. So what I can do is I can just specify that the parent is washer. Okay, so now what will happen is whatever property you defined here comes here automatically, and you can actually see when Whirlpool is initialized, it initializes with the gallon as 5. So let's see whether we really get it. Instead of washer, Whirlpool. Okay, so see here I have never defined the capacity as 5 in this particular WP bean, but it inherits the properties whatever defined. And remember, you can always override. So if you want to override that particular constructor argument or property, okay, remember that whatever properties also you define, it will also be overridden. Okay, and if I just change that to 10, doesn't mean that it will override from 5. You know that whenever subclass is created, if subclass defines the field and the method, the visible method or visible field is subclass. Okay, so the same property happens here. If I define this 10 here, then definitely that 10 is visible. There is no new change in that. It exactly behaves in a Java way, and you will see 10 in that field. But if you don't define it, you really don't need it. If you want to use a default behavior, you can define a default behavior like this and just mention that as a parent, and you will be able to use it. Okay, isn't that simple? Okay, so people, I think it's the time, so we should stop it. Take some time to solve. Today I will send you the project. Okay, practice it, do it yourself. I really don't want you to just execute whatever I'm sending. I want you to define your own bean. Okay, define your own properties and constructor arguments. Try to pass this constructor argument. Okay. No, I will not be sending any materials for Spring as of now. Okay, we are still in process of updating the materials. Okay, I don't have anything as of now. Okay, so I'm in the process of creating for 2 and Spring, and once it's done, I will send it across. Okay, whether it's in the last month of September also, whenever it's complete, all the students, even previous students, will be not complete. Okay, so I really want you to go through this class. Really want you to go through all the XML configuration. Try to now you have list here. Try to set a map. Okay. Sure, Kalyani. So try this stuff yourself. Unless and until you do a practice, you will not be able to solve interview questions or not be able to answer interview questions. Always remember that they don't want a puppet. They really want a person who has hands-on. So if you do not have hands-on, they will recommend immediately. Okay, and believe me, I'm like 10 plus now. I really understand a person whether he has hands-on or not in 5 minutes. Okay, so really you should practice. and you will get it. I know you guys are awesome. So what I really want you to do is go through all the stuff, not only Spring, all the stuff, and always practice, always. Okay. And in Marathi we have a very good phonetics like don't forget what we already learned. Okay. That is we call that today part. We don't do that. Okay. So always try remembering the previous stuff as well. Remember Scratch, go on Hibernate materials, read that material, go through the stuff, go to interview questions, visit different sites. Do not restrict yourself in single material. Visit different sites, visit different books. If you see a concept which you are not getting and you are breaking your head, don't break your head. Just drop me an email. I will help you. I'm here to help you. Okay, and you know that this whatever relations you are building here is not up to your H2K and
so many of our students have given testimonials on how our training programs are. You will find them on kudzu.com and on our website h2kinfosys.com. On our website h2kinfosys.com, you will also find more detailed information on who we are, the courses that we offer, what each course covers. Also, if you're interested in a demo program, please register on our homepage on the left-hand side. Just give us more information about yourself and we will send you a link for a demo class. The demo class is absolutely free. Experience our commitment by just attending an orientation workshop at no cost. Our team of faculty and advisors are here to guide you with the right information. If you still have more questions, please feel free to call us. Call us at 770-777-1269. This is a United States number. If you're calling from the UK, call us at 020-337-17615. You can also email us at training@h2kinfosys.com or h2kinfosys@gmail.com. Thank you for watching our videos. We wish you a great career in information technology.